fishy mic. So it has a group real good. Guess I having a chat on here. Nice. What's going on, Jerome or Jeremy? Very nice. Thank you. We should be getting more betas soon, yes? I think that's a good idea. I want to get more betas. So, if you're watching this right now, thumbs up the video. If you're watching it on the replay, also thumbs up the video. What's going on, Steiner? How you doing, brother? Steiner's been a long time subscriber and a channel member for like over a year now. He has a special star badge. Super cool. I didn't even know that was happening. Steiner's been a member for like, what, 14 months? Super awesome. What's going on, Scaper? He's got a star badge too. Oh, is that the new YouTube thing? Alright, yeah, there's member perks and stuff. What's going on, Super Playco fans? What's going on, Sandy? And so I just let all the members know that I'm going live. So a bunch of the members will be joining us soon and saying hi. I'm good. I'm under the weather, so if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm gonna cut the video. Just letting y'all know ahead of time. I did take medication. I took some Gramol, so hopefully things are good. Today we're gonna be looking at the progress I got done this week, as well as all the fish. We'll go around, feed everybody. I've got a bunch of fish out here waiting for food. I want to feed all the babies first. So let's look at some of those. There you go. Okay, so I haven't been well, so I haven't been able to do a lot of maintenance and stuff. But the fish are doing well, which is the important thing. So these guys are for sale. I'm just sorting them out now, and then after that they'll be at pet stores throughout the city. So the baby fish are all going to get Dr. Basileir, and these guys here will get Tetra Tropical colored granules. So these guys are going to get this stuff. So let's feed these guys first, because they've been hungry all day too. I haven't fed any of these fish today. I've been running around running errands in the morning. You know, I had to go to the pharmacy, beer store, you know, things of that sort. They love their Tetra. Ta-da, not a paid advertisement, but these fish definitely love it. I definitely wouldn't mind getting sponsored from Tetra, so I can talk more about their food. But definitely one of my favorite fish in the fish room. The albino dantums. They're really pretty. Very healthy also. What's going on, Leo? How you doing, mate? What's going on, Nonstop Aquatics? What's going on, Sandy? Thank you for being here, everyone. I love all my channel members. All you guys got stars now. Yeah, that's true. Dr. Basileir. You know, I would not mind that at all. That would be nice to have. The thing about Dr. Basileir is their food is made for farms. So a lot of large farms use their food, and in turn they have a lot of customers that are, you know, large scale aquaculture farms and stuff, and that's what he designs his food for predominantly. So it's really good stuff. That's what I feed the baby fish. It's quite economic when you're buying them in large containers. There we go. Let's feed these guys. And we'll come back and look at the other ones. Okay. Sorry, I kicked the stand by accident. Didn't intend to push it forward. Okay. Putting about a teaspoon, decent amount of food goes in here every day. Several times a day, actually. They go to town. I can find a sponge, I'd clean the glass for you guys, but I can't seem to find one right now. There was a sponge in here. Oh, there it is. Okay, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that whilst we're here. So I wasn't gonna live stream today because I'm not feeling too hot, and we want to focus on getting better, you know. But I feel like I'm good enough to do some live streaming. It doesn't hurt. Thank you, Steiner, for the super chat, mate. Steiner's so generous all the time. Thank you so much. And clean the glass in the other tank too while I'm here. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Leo's been a member for 13 months. Or L83s. Oh my god, that's a difficult. I would say 397s. Because they're beautiful fish. But the 333s also and the L83s also. Like, I mean, they're all good selections. I can't even decide between those fish. But if I had to decide between the three, I would go with the 397s because they're really pretty. And you have a really good price over there, so I would say that's another perk. Well, you did win 2 different fish. Pick one. Which would you pick, Evo or Dr. Basileir? Dr. Basileir. Just because it's a more balanced food. It's not Evo. Evo's a better food for like breeding hypancestras. But you can achieve almost the same success by just Dr. Basileir basic medium, fish food. And that's the beauty of it. It's a really good food. Evo has like a little bit more protein and fat per the same amount of food, but at the same time, and also Evo has various like pastes and stuff like that that can be used, especially as a binding agent for myself to when I'm breeding hypancestras, for example. I use the Evo to mix Basileir into to make my balls that I put into the breeder boxes for the baby hypancestras. So that's a positive thing about Evo also. But if I had to pick between the two, it would be Basileir. L83. I'm not 100% sure, 82 is a Scobie ancestors, I know that. Initially when I read it, I was thinking about the L82 also. Let's look at what L83 is. Maybe he actually meant L82, because that's what we were talking about also. Pterygolyptus gibbous. Okay, so that's like a sailfin. It's this guy. So it's not anything spectacular, but I kind of like these guys quite a bit. Can't lie. What's good on, Heather? Nice. Yes, you did. Mellow Planted Aquatics. Yes, I have 6 of them. I think I still do. I'm gonna go check. Yes, LA2. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. They're all nice. I would go with the 397s, but just because you have 5 of them, and like adding 5 more doesn't hurt. So you have a nice big group. But the L82s are quite nice, as well as the 333s are quite nice. What kind of vaselier? Just regular, size medium. Small granulate stuff. So we're gonna go around the house and feed all the fish, and I had to show Sandy something. So remind me when I get to the living room to show Sandy the wood discus. Uh, Steiner is the best. Thank you. I know all the time. What's going on, Joe? How you doing? Joe in the house. Hello, hello, hello to you. Happy 4th of July, by the way. It's not today. It's tomorrow. I know. Today's just the 3rd, right? Say today's the 3rd. But we're still in Canada Day weekend celebratory outfits. I'm wearing full red. I don't know if you guys can see. Don't look at my arse. You know. We're all wearing red in here in Canada. I have red shoes and all. I was walking down the street like Santa Claus. You know what I mean? In all red. What's going on, Dannykin? Kenny E in the house. If you guys haven't subscribed, dudes, subscribe to Kenny E. Like, he's gonna go live tonight. Like that, honestly, I put it on before I go to bed sometimes, like on Sundays, because I work Monday morning. Man, these guys are quite funny. Flexington Aquatics. How you doing, mate? Okay, so I hope I didn't miss anyone. Color coded by how many months you've been a member. Oh, I didn't know that. The stars are new, right? It's my first time seeing them. And Jonathan says Evo. Evo. It would be nice to get sponsored by any brand. Actually, it would be nice. Okay, I haven't missed anybody, I think. Okay, good. And thank you again, Steiner, for the super chat. Okay, guys and girls, I need a better chair. I'm on this plastic chair, so donate to the chair fund. We need a nice chair up in here, because I want to live stream from here a lot more. It's got all the tanks in here. Like, this tank is not set up yet, but it's gonna be set up. This one also. But there is fish down here, so let's look at those guys and feed them. So all these have to be sorted and stuff and moved into their own tanks based on color and size and quality, like for example the long fins versus the short fins, the platinum, the gold, and the red, marble kind of black and red fish, So I just fed them some Bastelier. They're all eating. Hungry little guys. I really like these fish. If you're watching this right now, give this video a thumbs up. It helps me out quite a bit, and also helps this video get to other people such as yourselves. Alright. Okay, so there's not much to look at in here, but let's go back up here. Because I want to feed these guys a bit more. They're hungry. They're hungry hippos. I don't know if you guys know what hungry hippos are. These are exactly what they are. Hungry hippos. They eat quite a bit. There we go. I'm going to also feed some of the other fish in the fish room without really turning the camera around while you guys watch the hungry hippos eat. Alright. We're going to get out of this room soon, so can you put some more food out here? So, if you guys and girls have been following along, we do have air, central air running. Not everything is connected, but some things are. And the air pump, that's the bleed valve. You might hear the bleed. That's the air pump. We are going to get another one for the next room, which is going to all connect into a giant central loop going throughout the upstairs of the house, around the whole house essentially. Oh yeah, angels are like pigs, I swear. They eat so much, but I like feeding them, But yeah, so it's going to be connecting all 4 rooms essentially through the central air loop. And the downside is I'm not going to be able to close any of the doors since I'm the only one technically living here. That's not too much of an issue, Not too worried about it. But yeah, so that's what's going on. And I did get some work done in my bedroom. Check that stuff out. I haven't put sheets on my bed yet, but so there's that new tank. I'm thinking of putting a pair of Ultims in here, and then also the tank beside it, set that up essentially for the same purpose, because we have two pairs of Ultims, and there's the least amount of traffic is in this room. So like, I mean the dog does come here, so I would probably have to put lids on both tanks. Um, Plant them heavily so the fish have an area to run to. Um, and essentially have some hiding spots. Um, Sorry, up top, we did have a spawn in this container. Some of the eggs went bad, and there was three babies. Two of them died. I don't know what happened to the third one. I'm assuming it died also. I haven't found a body though. I did find two of the other bodies that that died. There are some babies in here. Again, not a big spawn. Um, I think there's like three for sure. I saw them. They're doing well. They're eating. No issues. Uh, and down below, let me turn the lights on. Hold on. All right. So they're all doing good. Just have to figure out a place to put all the food and everything. Since I took out this space, which is where all the food was, that's been a little bit of a challenge. So there's fish in this tank, same deal. I need to get sorted out who's going to stay where, and move everybody around. Um, and for a secondary zebra pleco tank, we have this tank here. So I'm going to set this up and move some of the fish into this tank from over here, and then start getting some groups set up over onto that tank, and then also on in this tank, and some in this tank. You know what I mean? Etc. Etc. Um, Ideally, these are gonna be Ultim tanks, but in the meantime, I would probably end up using these as overflow zebra pleco tanks also, where I wouldn't have a problem, because I'm gonna end up using water from these tanks up here into like filling these guys up. So essentially, all four of these will have the same water, more or less, as well as this guy here. And there's a huge super chat. Oh wow, that's a crazy big amount. I don't know what that is, but thank you so much, Steiner. Wow, buddy, that's like a very big super chat. Thank you so much. You're so generous. Uh, that's amazing, Steiner. Wow, fish, 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 fish. That's definitely going into the chair fund or something. It's gonna be put to good use. Thank you so much. So pleased to hear. Yes. Uh, Good. That's amazing, Danikin. I'm glad you're here. Glad to hear that you're recovering well. And happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. I know you guys gained your independence from the Commonwealth, which is us. So it's kind of sucky, because it'd be nice to have all of the Western world under one tyrannical rule, I guess. The Queen is not so tyrannical. The independent leaders in each country can be tyrannical like our own, but you did become independent from us, from our Commonwealth and our parent country, I guess. And so happy 4th of July tomorrow. It's funny, I was thinking about that, like, imagine if America was still a part of the Commonwealth, and would all be like this giant like continent, like still under the rule of the monarch. That'd be cool, right? Like, with still having our independent state rights and all that. Every state and province in Canada, for example, I'm in province Ontario, to have like their own laws and stuff. Like, Canada also is independent from the monarchy, I guess. Technically, I don't know how that works, because we're still a part of the Commonwealth, and but we still, I guess, we have our own government. That's what independence means. We get to self govern, but we're still under their rule. which is cool to think about, you know. I don't know. Anyways, so it was Canada Day 3 days ago. Happy Canada Day to anybody in Canada, and happy 4th of July tomorrow to anybody in the U.S. Celebrating independence from the monarch. You know what I mean? It's not such a bad monarch though. I like her. Uh, personally, I support her claim. You know. Uh, Fish Mike says sorry I have kids. $40 a good price for albino Altums. Yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. Because these guys, the ones I have, they're albino Dantums, which is probably what you're talking about. We paid $30 Canadian each at wholesale. And it wasn't a payment. We exchanged fish actually. We gave them a bunch of fish, and they gave us the fish. So that's how Michael ended up, making the trade and bringing them over. And I came home from work and found them in a box, and I was like, oh, nice new fish. But yeah. Oh, I'm gonna show you guys something. So this guy is a really nice little spotted pipe ancestors. I think it's a contridens. I haven't confirmed the species. I have the parents breeding. So this is a really nice one. Got mixed into this tank, and it lives with the zebra plecos for now. I need to catch him and move him back with his own kind. But yeah, they've been doing good. There's a riptail, like a red lizard. I have a group of those guys in here also. Super cool. So these tanks are doing well, minus the 2 baby zebra plecos that died in here. So there was a mishap there. There's a couple in here, I think 3 or so, or in this one here. And they're doing good, so far so good. Thank God for that. And so there's nothing much to update in here. New tank, not set up tank. So these tanks will probably end up getting set up over the next little bit. Brand new tank. It's not like new per se, but it's new in the house. This is from my friend Farhad. I bought this one and the stand and a bunch of paraphernalia and a bunch of other stands from him a few weeks ago, but I finally ended up going and picking up the stand today. And so it's here, and the tank is on top of it and ready to go. Set up, water, so on and so forth. So now we will move on to the downstairs. Actually, let's look at some of the other fish in the other tanks with us, since we are still up here. Oh my God, my stand is coming apart. So I need to buy a new stand. Not much to see in here except I'll show you guys a little update here. It's fun, cool little update. Okay. So these stands are from Daniel, the Goji. Okay, there we go. No noise. How's that for sound? So these stands are from the Goji. They still need to be balanced in a sense, like I need to put a level on it and straighten them out. Also when the weight starts going on it, that's gonna straighten them out a little bit more, but they're not the straightest stands, just because they're not designed for display or anything. They're just designed for holding tanks. And he was nice enough to give me these because he didn't have a place to put them. He was going to throw them out. He said, here, you take them, set them up, you know what I mean? He actually set these up himself a little bit yesterday, actually, was it? And I wanted to live stream, but he's camera shy, so didn't end up live streaming. But so these are up here now. That tank, all the tanks are going to go here. I'll show you where the tanks are going to come from for now, because, oh yeah, this tank is really pretty. It's not really done or anything, but it just looks really pretty. Okay, it's a big mess in here, but see, gotta clean all this up. But this is gonna come apart. All these tanks are gonna come apart, and essentially, I want to raise this one more brick underneath, and also I want to have another brick here, so the top tanks are a little bit higher. So to do that, all these tanks need to come off, And what I'm going to do is take most of these tanks, fill up this rack here, okay, and essentially that would empty up that space, and then I'm going to build it up to something similar to this, and then move some of the fish back, and put new tanks and stuff like that there. There was a spawn in here. The babies at Michael's house. There was also a spawn in here in the bottom tank, but that did not survive. There was two spawns. Let's see those fish. There's a spawn in both of these sides of platinum angels. Sorry about the glare. And they're also at Michael's house. These guys are paired out. Let's move the light over so you can see the fish better. Okay. I haven't set up all the lights yet, so sorry about that. We're still doing things little by little. Alright, so whilst we're here, you guys can look at the fish and I'll get some food and feed them. Let's feed them some. Let me go get some. Alright, we got some food for them. Okay, you guys can see the fish, right? Okay. Again, we are going to be feeding the red stuff. I like this stuff. The tetra. They seem to really like that stuff. There we go. Everybody's eating. Very nice. See what you guys can see. So these are really nice fish. They're one of my favorites, I think, in the whole fish room. There we go. There's a bunch of plecos in here too. There's like maybe 50 plecos. You might see some of them coming out, all different species. I gotta split all them up into their own tanks in the next week or two. So the tanks that were in the room where we started, that's where a lot of these plecos are going to end up in. So while you guys look at those, I'm going to go around and feed all the angels, which have not been fed yesterday. So they've had like a day off from food. There's quite a bit of angels in here. Different pairs, breeding groups and whatnot. Feed everybody. We'll look at some of them after. So those are some of the challenges also I'm having with the setup that's behind you guys and girls that I'm feeding right now. I'll turn the camera around and show you guys basically what I'm talking about. Is that it's not just difficult to film. Here, let me turn the camera around. So these things here, they're kind of on the floor. And it's not just difficult to film, it's also difficult to see in there. Compared to like these tanks on the bottom here, you can see them quite easily and quite well, and you can see the fish quite easily. Everybody can, it's multiple tank syndrome. So essentially what I was trying to say is that it's quite difficult to see down there, even to work. When I walk in here, I barely see the fish, so I can't have them down there. long term. Now, this is the beauty of these cinder block stands. They're very modular, so you can always move them around quite a bit. If you just flankers were over here, I did lose a CW027 a couple of days ago, and also CW045. He got stuck. I know that. I pulled him out, but I think the stress of being stuck and probably damaged something. He died, he or she. And then in this tank, I lost the CW027. I'm assuming it's the same thing. And the parameters all good. I did do a water change last weekend. I still should do a water change. I didn't do it this weekend. But everything was good in there, so like I don't know why he died. There's a lot of fish in there, so I could have gotten into a fight, gotten stuck in a cave, something like that. Something could have happened. It's a big guy too. But that sucked. All these fish need to get their own tanks. So that's something that needs to happen like ASAP. And then these temporary tanks that are here. This was a very temporary setup. This was just set up to hold fish. Basically, all the tanks in this room set up to hold fish, just so that I have the fish moved to this house, and then bring all the tanks over, worry free, and have the fish already acclimatized and doing well here. So that in that context, it did work really well. In terms of losses, we had very minimal losses, and we moved like I think 5 fish died in total throughout the whole moving week or so. And we've lost some fish since then, but like to old age and other things like that. Fish stupidity and stuff like that. But in terms of flakers, the losses have been very minimal. I think that the 2 baby fish that died was, if not the second, the first loss. Oh yeah, there was 1 baby pleco that died, like L401. So that was just less lack of food and stuff. So yeah, it's been good. Okay, so let me catch up on the chat. I have to get another aquarium. Sandy needs another aquarium. White angels are so pretty. Yes, they are. They eat the L340s. That sucks. Send one of my from Eric to get to the group text. Oh, nice. Very nice. I'm gonna check it. Where's my phone? It's in the other room. I'll check it just now. Constitutional. Yes, it is a republic. Constitutional republic. Happy Canada Day. Definitely, Kat. Awesome. Hope you stick around. Yeah. Yes, Canada is a constitutional monarchy. That's the 2 differences between Canada and the US, the preliminary differences. Aside from those 2, pretty much everything else is the same. Also, in Canada, you cannot defend yourself with your firearm or even with any other weapon, for example, if your life is threatened by somebody else. But there have been cases where people have defended themselves with a gun or a knife or what type of firearm, and they won the case in terms of self-defense, because self-preservation is, I think, a fundamental human right. You know what I mean? And the ability to protect oneself should be also a fundamental human right. So those are differences, fundamental differences between our 2 constitutions. But aside from those minor differences, it's pretty much the same kind of systems, very similar. L134s, yeah, they are a little bit more finicky to breed. It's not just, but the thing is, I know so many breeders that breed them without doing anything, right? So they just keep them in the tank, and they do the periodic water change once every 2 months or so. Most of them use resin to bring the nitrates down. So the pH drops significantly in those tanks, regardless of where you are in the world. Even if you have super hard water, if you're feeding high phosphorus type of food, like high protein food, your pH is eventually going to start going down. And so over 2, 3, 4 month period, it will get to a significantly low level, like 5.5 pH, and they seem to breed better at that type of pH. It's difficult to achieve first of all, and to maintain long term a stable 5.5 pH. Because at that pH, as you keep putting food, your pH starts going lower and lower. So every single day it will go down a little bit, and eventually it'll be like at 4 point whatever, and your fish will be start dying or already dead. So that's the downside to doing that. But the upside is your fish will breed much more readily at that low pH. Now with hypencestrus, it's not as necessary to go as low. Anything below 6.5, you have considerable success. For me personally, I've noticed that all my eggs hatch at 6 pH. 6.1, I have no problems. Above 6.1, 1 or 2 will go bad out of a clutch of 10. Above 6.5, maybe half of them will go bad. Above 7, only 1 or 2 will survive. So these are different issues that different pHs will have on your egg survival. That doesn't mean that at 7.1 pH or 7.2 pH, which is what our lake is at, the fish won't breed readily, and some of the eggs will also survive. But at the same time, it's not going to be 100% success. You know what I mean? But at 6.0 pH, with the hypencestrus zebras, there's a lot more consistent success. So that's something to keep in mind. With the L134s, that number seems to be 5.5 pH. So a lot of breeders, I got my first group from Jan the Discus man, and he used to have them, like his breeding group, in a 300-gallon river skate. So it's this massive 8.5 foot huge tank, 300 gallons. So like in liters, that's like 1,200 liters, 1,200 liters of water, plus a giant sump underneath as a filter. And the whole thing is planted, heavy flow, heavy current. And he had like Corridoras breeding in there, Discus also breeding, in the 134s, and also like Rummy-nosed Tetra's, like a huge school, a couple of hundred thick, and hundreds of L134s. And he does nothing in that tank. He just puts food in, and the fish breed, And so that's something to keep in mind. I'm seeing a dead fish in your tank. So I'm trying to figure out, just one dead, which is fine. The plague was eating it. I need to take that out, but I think in the next few minutes there will be plague of food. It's a guppy, so. Plagues do eat guppies, or dead fish. I'll show you guys something. Okay, let's try to zoom in here. I don't know if you can see the L134s, L340s. So these are a lot of the babies you're seeing here were born here in Toronto, in my facility. And so these are like select fish that I've selected. The one in the cave is an adult. They're not that big. They stay under 3 inches for the adult males, maybe 3.5 inches for the biggest ones that I've ever seen. The females tend to stay smaller. Really pretty fish. Try to get closer without trying to spook them. Okay. Spook them. See, that's the hard part about some of these fish. Oh, there we go. Someone's back. Oh, they're back. There we go. Leo says just did a 25% water change after treating a new fish with Expel P, which is levomycel. Should I add the resin to remove the rest or wait? Okay. Yeah, I would not add the resin because the medication, if it's working over like let's say 2 weeks, it doesn't hurt to leave the medication in. And also, as long as the fish are not dying or showing signs of distress or anything like that, since you've done a water change already as recommended, I would say don't put anything else. Don't put carbon either, because that also seems to remove the medication. And then once 2 or 3 weeks have passed and you've done several water changes, put the resin back in. Something to keep in mind is the resin, if it dries out, it becomes inert, so it becomes useless. So if you're using any type of aquarium resin or water treatment resin in your aquariums, don't let dry out. So keep in mind. See, you can't see the fish in the bottom tanks too well. Even for me, it's difficult. It's the top tanks. This is where I would ideally want my tanks to be, or at least close to this height, so I can see the fish clearly. That seems to be, for me, it's important. I know some other breeders don't seem to care, but for me, this works, but not as ideal as it being at least one more brick higher. Okay, so that's what's going on in this room. Again, we got central air running through the whole room. It's working really well. Sorry, I'm showing you my forehead, but I'm kind of maneuvering the camera with one hand. We're gonna go downstairs. So we also looked at this room. There's no point looking at it again. So everybody joining in right now, you guys should probably go back and watch the replay at the end of this live stream. So this is the painting that Sandy already sent me. It's really nice. Let me try to zoom out actually. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh my god, this is a gorgeous painting. I need to get a light on it. Like a really nice light. Because right now the shadow from my railing is kind of making it look different. But it's a gorgeous painting. So if you guys haven't checked out Sandy Diamond's art as well as her other work, check her YouTube out. Also on Facebook she has a page. If one of my lovely moderators can put a link to her YouTube as well as a page, that would be super cool. It's a feather from her bird. Some shells that I got, decorative shells. I thought it would be nice to have, add some, kind of accent pieces, whatnot. Got some tanks in the kitchen. It's a mess. I did get a lot of work done out here. So you might remember there was a whole bunch of tanks sitting out here. All those tanks have been moved out. The only tank left here is this tank, which is Bob Wilson's display tank. So we are going to look at this right now because I had to show Sandy something. And so bear with me whilst I turn this around. Voila. I don't know if any of you have seen this before, but these are statues of Discus. Okay, it's real nice. I need to get a light on this, so we'll do that soon. It's not a priority, but it's on the to-do list. So what I wanted to show is a Discus to Sandy. So this is a replica, life-sized, okay, of an actual fish. This is not an actual fish. This is a wood carving of an actual fish, okay? So, here, turn the camera around. Because Sandy's working on a painting, and so here it is. Has a little handle. They're quite thick in the front. This is an adult. So, and it's a wild caught. So you can see it's a big fish. And it's like a really nice color pattern for it too. So this is not like refined. There's various different styles of patterning. It's a gorgeous little fish. And yeah, so essentially, so we'll put this guy back. Take another one and look at it. There's a few in here. They're all slightly different from each other. And each fish has a different orientation, which kind of makes it cool. Let's look at this one. So we're gonna look at this guy. Its colors are not the most accurate. It's like more greenish on it, but again, there are fish that pretty much resemble this in the wild. I guess the blue and stuff is a little too accentuated on this guy, but again, gorgeous. So, not as thick as the other one. It's the front view, side view, as it turns, back, other side. So, I hope this helps Sandy, because I know looking at wood models of things for drawings definitely seems to be a way to get a concept of the shape of the animal, especially with animals and humans, you know. So I thought this might be useful. Okay, so let's put this guy back. I don't know, if you want to see another one, we can look at another one real quickly before we move on. Where were you? Oh yeah, there you were. I don't want to break it. So this is like a hand-carved model. We kind of inherited essentially. Okay, for some reason it's not going in. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to play with it too much because it is very old and very delicate. But so there's the fish living their best lives, and everybody's swimming around doing their thing. This tank over a little bit. Put the lid back on. Alright, so we do need to get a light for that tank. Eventually we will. Just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, sorry about that. Essentially, so that's that. Moving on. Let's move on to this side. Got our baby angels here. Essentially the same as the other top tank. Get close to it. Oh, my pleasure, Sandy. What's going on, Deborah? Thank you for becoming a member again. Have I gotten success in the Ultims? Not yet. I think in the next few months I should have something going on with them. Just because I have 2 pairs now, I feel pretty confident that there's at least 2 males and 2 females, and then 1 extra fish that could be either a male or a female. We are also getting some more Ultims in the coming months. Most likely going to be going into the tank above this tank that you're looking at right now. And yeah. Thank you, U.S. Services, USL Services. Um, don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, definitely. They're all white babies, most of them. Yes. You want some, Heather? Um, Also, let's take a moment and like if any servicemen and women or former servicemen and women are out there, let's thank them for their service. These freedoms that we are always taking for granted are all thanks to the brave and selfless sacrifices of our amazing military forces. My brother is in the Army Reserves currently. He's retired from active service. And me and him don't have a relationship really, but I still am grateful for his service to this nation and to all the things that we have, that we take for granted a lot of times, and also anybody else that has served our countries, Canada and the U.S. in the military, and also anybody in other parts of the Commonwealth that have served in the military, or are still serving in the military. You guys, your sacrifice allows us to have these freedoms. So thank you so much for that. So just wanted to say, Oh, definitely, they have the best stories. Because it is Canada Day, and also in the U.S. tomorrow is going to be the 4th of July. So this is our weekend that we celebrate our freedoms, and I think without their sacrifice, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have, that we take for granted. So let's take that into consideration and be grateful. And so we're gonna go downstairs now. Another discus picture. These are all gonna be like various pictures, and so this wall I'm trying to not put any art on because a few people brought up a good point, is that the moisture from the water can hit the paintings and ruin the paintings, which I do not want to happen. Glossy paper print stuff is fine, but original paintings like the one I have from Sandy, I don't want anything to happen to it, so I'm putting it in more safe and secure display places where it's not gonna get any moisture, where there's no tanks near it, so there's no chance of water getting on it, and also away from the dog's reach, because my dog slobbers and she blah, 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 and slobber everywhere, so I don't want slobber to hit any of the paintings and ruin them that way. So I'm trying my best to keep them away from those two sources of disgusting water from the tanks, as well as water slobber from the doggy. Also, another thing I wanted to put up, which I haven't yet, this sign here, Synopsodon Discus Country. So that sign's gonna go up right there. It's actually a hole pre-drilled by the previous owner of the property. So we're gonna go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. All right. Ta-ta-da-da. You guys wanna join me? Oh my God, this sucks. My stand is coming apart, guys and girls. I need a new stand. I desperately need a new stand. So this stand here has to get set up. There's a fan down here. There's another fan. This is my biggest fan. I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but I'm gonna give you guys an overview from here. There are fish in tanks, and there are a lot of fish in tanks. There's more fish over there. There's more fish up top. These tanks just got filled. This one is not in its correct position, so that has to move, but there is fish in these tanks. What do we have? Whoa, look at those. So these are some of Michael's fish. So up top, we have electric blue rams. These are for sale, so if anybody wants to pick these up, can give you guys and girls a good deal here in Toronto. You just had to come pick them up out in Brampton. It's not too far. It's about a 40-minute drive out of Toronto from downtown. Especially on a Sunday, it's a 35-minute drive on the highway. If you're living in Markham, it's a 40-minute drive on the Highway 7. It's super easy to get to where I am. And also, if you do want to pay me or to Uber Connect, we can send you fish through those services. And also, we have some Danio Chopre, which is the glow light Danio. Okay, let's look at those real quickly. They have not colored up yet. They're young, and they're super nice. We have some guppies in there. Those are from one of my friends. I'm gonna try to set a line with those. So those are like a future project. Super cool. But down below, which we're gonna look at next. Oh wow, look at this. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an idea of how many rams Michael B breeds every day. Let me get this ladder out of the way. Okay, so these are some electric or just regular standard GBR. Okay, I guess we should be calling these Canadian blue rams because they're bred in Canada over many generations. But for identification purposes, we call them German blue rams. Okay, there's well over a couple of hundred in here. We can put some food for these guys and girls. I did have some food up here. Various fish get various foods down here. So these guys and girls, we are feeding Dr. Basileir. You can see them getting all excited. They're hungry hippos. I put a decent amount of food for them because they're hungry hippos and they do need to eat. And then let me put some food for the top tank whilst we're at it. Okay, fed both tanks. Close the lid. I'm probably gonna come down here one more time tonight and feed everybody. So the days I have the ability to, I feed them like 4 to 5 times a day. So this is the grow out area. Majority of the fish here are just growing out for market. Some of these guys are ready to go to market, which essentially is pet stores in the Greater Toronto area. Do I ever feed my fish Brussels sprouts? No. I don't put any like. I tend to stick to this type of food, like pellet food, because it's easier. My dog is licking the mic stand. Get out of here. It's easier to manage in terms of bioload and how much waste it creates. Like this thing stays fresh in the water for like 10 hours. So it's Basileir. So I tend to stick to that type of stuff, but I heard it's good. Oh, definitely. And yes, definitely shout out to all the veterans and all the servicemen and women. And also, let's not forget the police officers also, and firefighters and first responders also fall into this category of service people that serve our communities. And you know, everything is possible because these people work even on days like today and tomorrow and also on Friday to keep things going. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not surprised that Brussels sprouts. It's a baby brassicas plant, and those things are packed full of nutrition. So definitely, I think you know, it's probably something that you can try. I personally stick to granulized food just because like I don't have the ability to clean all the tanks as much as I should, so I don't want to add any more added contaminants and stuff like that that could ruin my water fast, you know. But yeah, but they definitely seem to be something that a lot of people use, Eric included, you know. Thank you, Bob Rat. And Heather, yes, send me a message. I can send you a bunch of these, bunch of the angels, you know, bunch of the electric blue rams that are up here. There we go. That worked. So you know, like as you need, and then you can sell them in your local area. Also, you can keep the ones you want and sell the rest. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we got some cool new fish today. So these are super rare fish. They're still babies, so you can't really see what they are per se. The really small guys that are in the front here, these are electric blue Acara babies. There's 5 of those in there. Okay, so there's 2 in the front, there's another one, and there's the little guy here behind right there. See that one? There's 5. And there's 4 Therictis maculipensis. I don't know how the hell to pronounce that, but here's the name. Therictis maculipensis. Okay, let me try that one more time. Okay. Torictis, that's the first word. Torictis, okay? Maculipensis. Lipenesis. Maculipenesis. Okay? Whatever that is. So Google that name and you will see how gorgeous these fish are as adults. So we got 4 of those guys. So this is a future breeding project. Probably gonna get a display tank upstairs. Most likely all 9 of these fish are probably gonna go into one of the displays upstairs for now. And as they grow and pair up, we might end up moving them around into different tanks as needed. But they definitely are gonna be something we work with just as a hobby project, you know, because this is at the end of the day still a hobby operation where we are doing the business to fund our hobby, and our hobby makes money, right? So fun stuff. There's several hundred Lucipenus in here and Odessa barbs, mostly males. We are just waiting for them to color up. The Lucipenus are Synodontis lucipenus, so they're a small type of Synodontis catfish, and they are getting ready to go to pet stores. A lot of these are being sold already, so if you are interested, we have group prices on these and stuff like that. And there they are, pretty nice. There's no light on this tank yet, but you know, it will come in the near future. Up top we have another tank which is getting set up, and then beside it is another tank that is getting set up for the Pseudohemidon apitanos. So my mind was running a blank. So moving into the Discus room, let's look at those guys and girls. So they're growing really fast. Oh, also we missed the tank. Move. So this room is our mess room right now, but it needs to get cleaned up, and all this mess needs to get cleared up. This rack is gonna get set up here. Mess is gonna go on the rack, clearing up some of the mess there. Next rack is gonna get set up there. Mess is gonna go on the rack, clearing up some of the mess. Then we're gonna throw the mess that we don't need, keep the mess that we do need organized so it's not a mess. And so there's a lot of work here to be done, which me and Michael are slowly chipping away at. Okay, let's not worry about that for now. Okay, I want to show you guys and girls this tank. Thank you for deleting that guy person. Why not stop? Yes. Well, yeah, because I wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm usually like going to work myself. Okay, so these are new baby Discus that Michael brought over. These are really nice. They're just starting to color up. They're very small. I know they look big on camera, but here's my hand. So they are tiny. I'm gonna set up the camera for you guys and girls to see them from a distance, and we're gonna feed these guys and girls. Okay? And let's see if we can make this work. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, that worked. There we go. Okay, sorry about the little bit of jiggling and stuff. Okay, there we go. Okay, you guys can see them, right? Let's move a little bit back. So this is the highest I can get the tripod. Alright. We're gonna feed these guys some of our red color enhancing foods. They like it. I liked it. It works well. Princess, stop licking my feet. I think I'm gonna start using the ladders to feed the fish because every single time I end up dropping some on the floor, which I hate because I hate wasting, you know, fish food or whatever it might be. I hate wasting. So let's feed the little guys down below some color enhancing food also. There we go. Everybody gets some color enhancing food. Princess, upstairs. Okay. I don't know. Can you guys see him eating? Had to kick my dog out because she keeps licking my foot. Thanks, Mason. You're being good today. Be gone, seat. Me too. USL services. I am being nice, but honestly she has this new tendency. She'll come down here and she'll like annoy me when I'm like on the phone or like live streaming. If I'm not like paying attention to her, she starts licking my foot, you know, which I hate. She says like it's disgusting, you know. I don't like it. So sometimes she has to get yelled at. All right, but I am being nice. I'll be nice, okay? All right. So let's feed these guys and girls. So these are the Lucy's and the Barbs. There we go. We got some food in there. Now, you might notice I don't feed a lot. I guess it looks like a lot because there's a lot of fish in there. But this food will be done in like 5 to 10 minutes. Like, let's go around and show you something real quickly. Like in here. See? Only that much food is left still. And they're still eating at it. Like in the next 20 minutes, if I come down and look, all this food will be gone. And I'm also going to put some placos in here. Some super red longfins and stuff. These guys are eating. First meal. They've traveled all the way from New Brunswick. So Canada is large. Canada is a very large country. People live all across Canada. New Brunswick is all the way in the east coast where the ocean is. And these fish were bred by a gentleman out in New Brunswick. I forgot his name. He was here at like 8 in the morning. Somebody was knocking on the door. I didn't even open the door. I was like, it's 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. I'm not even getting up. No, I didn't know somebody was there actually. If I knew, I would have gone and opened the door. I just like heard the dog bark and then that was it. The dog stopped barking. I said, okay, you know, could have been delivery or something. Could be, I don't know. My neighbors have my phone number, so I'm not worried. Anywho, the gentleman came from New Brunswick. Finally, Michael showed up around 10, accepted the fish, sold some fish to go back to New Brunswick. That was a good time. Anywho's, so let's feed these guys up top. Alright, whilst you guys sit there and watch, I'm gonna go in here. Throw some foodie. Come on, boys and girls. Time to eat. Okay. They get quite a bit of food. Get a couple of water changes also, but not as much as I would like personally. But we do have very busy schedules, so you do the best you can. But you can see the growth. Like, I mean, you guys and girls that's been here last week on Sunday, or whenever I live streamed, probably remember seeing these. Nick Diesel in the house. Welcome. Happy to see you also. So they're growing really fast. There's some big fish in here. There's some. These are the strawberry rams. So Michael created this line. Very nice fish. It's like a powder blue on the males and like a strawberry pink color on the females. Very beautiful fish. So that's the adult coloration, breeding coloration. The male does not get any darker. The female does not get any darker. These two are about to spawn actually. And there's actually a spawn down below. So let's bring the camera down real quickly and look at these guys. And then, so these are regular German rams. These are also for sale. We only have males in this tank. There was some females. I think there's one or two left still. Michael ended up taking some home. So this guy here has a spawn. So see how dark he is compared to the ones up top? And there's the spawn. It's a big spawn. And he seems to be doing well with it. The eggs all seem to be viable. Like there's like I think 3 eggs that are gone bad so far. The rest of the eggs seem to be doing well. No hope to like get any fry out of this, but if they do survive to the vigorous stage, I'm pretty sure Michael will end up taking them home and putting them into a grow tank. But you can see the melons have colored up quite significantly since last week. A big part of it is I think also the food that they get. The red ones I believe are going to color up a lot later, but the melons have colored up quite well. These are all brothers and sisters, by the way. They're all from the same parents. So these guys are going to turn red, just not yet. You might kind of see the red on these. They're going to be real pretty when they're bigger. So super hopeful for this group. There's not a lot of peppering on the melons, even at this young age. You can see a lot of black is kind of gone now. Sorry about the stain here. I need to clean that up. But so yeah, that's what's going on down here. All right, it's been like an hour and change. I think I'm going to turn off for the night because I'm really tired also and low energy. So I'm gonna eat, get some food in me, drink a little bit of wine. Hopefully that's gonna settle my stomach and help me deal with whatever I'm dealing with. So no beer for tonight. I think for the next few nights. So if there's last minute questions, I can get to them right now. Thank you, Nick. Nice, Princess Peach. Okay, I know. No licking, okay, please. Yeah, you gonna be on camera? No? Okay. Red of ick. Okay, with ick, if it's catfish or plecos, I know people say not to use malachite green, but I've successfully used malachite green on tanks with loricariids, corridoras, not actual scaleless fish, okay? Both loricariids and corridoras have dermal plating, so it might be different for other siluriforms. So, general catfish, aside from loricariids and corridoras and aspidoras and megalodoras and stuff like that, I would not recommend this, but for any type of the corridoras types and loricariids, so plecos and cories, or aspidoras, megalodoras, brocus, like that type of fish, you can use malachite green very successfully. If you are concerned, use half the dosage recommended in the bottle. Get the actual malachite green, 0.05% concentration. Drink it. See, I'm stronger than you. Okay, don't try it. Don't try it. No. I know you're big, but I'm very strong. Okay, I can put you in a headlock, and you're gonna be able to get out. I know. I love you too, but you gotta stop being pushy. Oh my God, this dog is too much. I know. Okay, good. Thank you, Heather. Let's see the plecos. Plecos are upstairs. I'm gonna set up all their tanks, and then we'll be able to see them better. Right now, they're all in 2 tanks, except for the Zebs. They're in their own tanks. And finally, slobbered all over. I gotta take a shower now. Darth Blunt is laughing. It's not fun. I'm also allergic to my dog, so I don't know if you guys know that, but my skin reacts to the dog's hairs. And I'm not like deathly allergic, but it does itch me like hell. See, my back is itching already. And then now I'm gonna itch all night. Uh, so yeah, that's fun part of having a dog. My face is all itchy now. Ugh. Uh, RB line dropped the price big time. Yeah, I know. I noticed. The dogfish is out of control. She's up there. See, the dogfish. 2 inch for 20 euros. Well, here's the thing. They're not that pretty, right? I think that the super white prices are going to go down quite significantly also. But the super whites will hold some value um, just because they're prettier fish. But the prices are going to go down significantly. Uh, Steiner wants to know how often do I feed the discus babies? Yeah, I mean, I try to feed these guys 4 to 5 times a day, at least. I don't think I'll ever be able to get to the 6 times, but usually, so like you just saw me feeding them now. Let's assume this is when I got home from work. I usually come home from work a little later than this, and usually I do a feeding then, and then I do a feeding at night before I go to bed. So that's two, and then I do a feeding in the morning when I wake up to go to work, and then right before I go to work I do a feeding also. So that's four in total that I do, but sometimes I miss one of those. So there's at least 3 feedings that I do, and then Michael's here usually every day around 4 o'clock-ish, so a little bit earlier than this, and then 4 to 5, and he feeds them at that time. So they get 1, 2, 3 at night, and potentially 1 to 2 in the morning before I leave to work. So they get about 4 to 5 feedings. Ideally, we would like to have more food going in there, but what I do actually do also is when I do feed them, I usually go back and do second rounds. So technically, they are getting, like right now when I'm done streaming, I'm probably gonna go around the whole house, feed everybody one more time, and then once more before I go to bed. So you know what I mean. And then I've already fed them once this morning, and I'm pretty sure Michael fed them when he was here. So you know, usually about 4 to 5 feedings on average per day. But I mean, 6 is better. Ideally, what you want is food, small amounts of food regularly throughout the day, but we do have jobs, so it's quite difficult to manage that. But having said that, they are growing significantly faster than I expected them to, so I'm not too worried. I will keep updating on their growth. Um, what my main concern right now with them is not even the amount of food that they get, which I feel like is significantly enough not to have the explosive growth, but to sustain some growth, a decent amount of growth, I guess. But what I'm more concerned about is the water change amounts, because we are not able to do as much water changes as I personally would like to do in those tanks. Ideally, a daily water change of like even 5% would be better than no daily water changes, or every second day or every third day, which is what they're getting currently, or once a week sometimes for some of the tanks here. Um, and But once we have the auto water change set up, I think that's going to be remedied, and it's all a matter of just turning switches on. So like at least once or every other day, 10% water changes would not be too much of an issue to manage with the auto water changes down here. Now upstairs, that's not a possibility, just because I'm still doing water changes manually for all the tanks in the living room and the main breeding room on the third floor. So with those tanks, with the third floor, I'm gonna stick to my once a week water change schedule. Just gonna keep less fish per tank, so that I don't necessarily have to do large amounts of water changes because there's not that many fish in tanks. Same with the living room, it's just gonna be a pair or small groups of fish in decent sized tanks, not going to be overcrowded, not going to have like 3 4 different kinds of fish. It's going to be one kind of fish per tank, more or less. Maybe some accompanying fish like corridors or something that clean up the waste, or like a pair of angels or discus or ultims or whatever, and some plecos to clean up the mess, or a group of plecos by themselves with some dither fish swimming about, and maybe a couple of corridors, like odds and ends that don't have a place to go, can go into that tank. just because it's there. But you know, it's not going to be a group of corridors and a group of plecos, just because we have space here. And I ideally want to have each breeding type of fish in their own tank, with nothing else in there except for like a, you know, like in a angelfish breeding tank, maybe a pair of super reds that can breed together at the same time, just because it's, you know, something you can do. Or like a pair of red lizards, you know, in an autumn tank wouldn't hurt. But it's not gonna be an autumn tank with like 8 plecos and, you know what I mean, like babies, and that's just too much. The bioload becomes too much. So I want to keep it to minimal bioload, um, upstairs. So once a week or every other week, water changes are good enough to maintain optimal water conditions for breeding. And then the grow out tanks uh, are going to be mostly, you know what I mean, like the tanks on the second level in the living room, as well as some of the tanks in the middle of the rack, and then the tanks down here, that are going to be set up now. And so, you know, it will be like a few tanks down here, and the tanks in the living room that are grow out tanks, I would have to do water changes on those, significantly more, you know. So yeah, something to keep in, something we're like working with and, you know, dealing with as it comes along. um, I know it kind of got ranty and a little long, but kind of have to like explain things, I guess, in detail, because otherwise it's just, you know, it's incomplete, and then you don't understand what I'm talking about, or, you know, like, oh, what did you mean by that? Like, no, essentially what we're dealing with is having a place that is not our own, that is rented. So not being able to do permanent changes to the structure or to the floors or anything like that. Having to worry about not dropping water on the floor, things like that. You know, like in the floor not being concrete on the basement not being large enough to put both fish rooms in there, and only have like breeding tanks upstairs, or like, you know, a couple of tanks or whatever. So these are some of the challenges with this facility here. But I'm grateful that it is a functioning facility, and that we are already able to breed fish. We already have some baby super plecos, tons of angels, German rams, blue rams, black rams, that Michael's breeding, angels, Discus, Lucipinus catfish that he bred. You know, so various types of fish available already. I'm pretty confident that the plecos will start breeding for me anytime soon. I already have L144s breeding here, like we've had 2 or 3 clutches, so successfully spawning here already. So those are available for sale. Black rams will be available soon. You know, the ultimate angels, you know, God willing, they should be starting to spawn soon. So there's a lot going on. I think, you know, we are going to be self-sufficient in the coming 6 months or so, or before that. So and also all your support, all the channel members that are, you know, supporting in by being members. I mean, it's a huge support. Helps with the rent and stuff, and also all the super chats. Steiner has been very generous. Leo just super chatted earlier, so thank you so much for that. And everybody else that super chatted over the last few months. You know, like all that money's going into paying all the expenses and the added expenses and stuff like that, and doing whatever we can to improve. And a little bit of good news, I did manage to pay off one of my credit cards yesterday, because I've been working my ass off. You know, my behind. So I paid off $5,500 credit card, paid off completely. I owe nothing to them, and I have another credit card that is at like, I think, 6,000, almost $900 now. And so I gotta pay that one off next. And so I'm gonna pay that off in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna pay at least half of that off, and then over the next month I'm gonna finish paying that off. So that's good. But I still need to buy a pump, another pump, manifolds, you know, different odds and ends stuff, cinder blocks for the stands, you know, various things. So there's gonna be more expenses, and I feel like, you know, I'm just gonna deal with it as it comes. So that's what's going on. And what's going on, Goji? Are you back in Toronto? Shoutouts to Daniel. Uh, he doubled the rent and registered it. Moving the fish room was the worst. Oh yeah, moving the fish room sucked. But I'm still struggling to put everything back up. But it's coming along, and Daniel's been helping quite a bit. He's driving back from Montreal. Um, wow, 30 days notice after 7 years. That sucks. This is the sad part about the real estate market or the renters market. Um, Things are changing with the housing market. In Toronto, for example, where I live, housing prices went down $250,000 in the last week. So a house was close to $1 million. This house was like $970,000 maybe month and a half, 2 months ago, and now it's at about $750,000. The value has dropped by a quarter in the last 2 months. In the last 2 weeks, it dropped quite significantly, actually. People are unable to sell their houses now at the $1 million mark, which is great. I feel like it's gonna still go down quite a bit. So if you are able to get into the market, I think the time for that is coming soon. Not retail or investment advice in any sort, because I'm not an expert, but I feel like that's when I would want to get into the market personally, if I could. And I feel like it's never. I don't think anybody can time the bottom of anything, but realistically, houses in Toronto, for example, like this house, should not be worth more than $400,000. Should not be 900. So 50% of where it was at the height of things is a good place to kind of, for me personally, to be able to buy something, or like a little bit lower than that, which is what the house is actually worth, you know, land and material. Yes, agreed, agreed. And I had to pay my agent. I ended up paying like $600 today, almost $600 to my agent, for um, my last few paychecks, and I still have a few checks that I still haven't like really emailed them about. Like, they just came in on Friday, so I have to open them and do all that, and then I had to pay them 10% of whatever I make. So yeah, the landlords suck, man. And yeah, don't take anything I say as any type of like investment advice. I'm not an expert in investing in any sort. Um, but yeah, housing, getting a house is nice to have. Um, my agent's just cashing all my checks, my e-transfers right now. I just get email notifications, and I'm just like, you took like $600 out of my money. Uh, Anyways, but I still, I got work because of, I guess, her. She emailed me, so. But is it worth paying? Did she do $600 worth of work? No, no. She did very little work to make that $600. Thanks, Joe. I am going to. I'm definitely gonna crash after this. Well, I still gotta eat, walk the dog, feed the dog, a few things to do, but I'm not doing much. Got the laundry already done. I might fold it if I have the energy. We're gonna eat and crash time. Okay. Anywho's, yeah. If one of your ideas take off, you will be rich, and I'm pretty sure you will probably throw me some money because I kind of like bounce ideas with you all the time. So, Jonathan has some pretty darn good ideas. The one with the carbon in the tube is brilliant. I love that one. I might actually implement that into my setup. Just need to get the carbon in the bag. Not a bad idea to try. Yeah, Daniel, please drive safe. I know you're a great driver. Um, I'm definitely gonna get some rest. Uh, I'm going to listen. I need to rest. I'm so tired. It's not even tired. I'm lethargic because I don't think anything I ate over the last 3 4 days stayed in my stomach for more than like an hour or two. And it was just not not doing anything. So I have no energy. Um, I actually feel like I lost some weight in the last couple of days. Also, could have just been the heat, being out in the sun. Friday I applied sunscreen. Not Friday, Thursday. I just didn't want to burn anymore, so I sunscreened all my body and my face and stuff. So I ate a bunch of sunscreen. Could have been that, and then also I ate crappy pizza at work. It's gourmet pizza with an oven and stuff. I think that's what really got me is the pizza, because it was buffalo ranch pizza and it was dripping all over. I had 2 slices out of a whole pizza. Each of us got our own pizzas on Thursday. Work's been really good to us. Um, every day they've had like different treats this last week. Ice cream, coffee truck, pizza, and whatever, different treats. But the downside is, some of this stuff is not the most healthiest food to eat during like a 12-hour workday in the sun. So in that context, it was it didn't go well. But yeah, Friday I played a coach in the show in the movie. So if you guys watch the movie, I'll let you know when it comes out. Uh, I'm the coach. Well, the actual guy that got booked as the coach didn't do properly, so they just hired me as his photo double and just paid me extra to do all the acting parts, and they're using his voice. So I still get a credit on there, but you'll see me doing all the actions because the guy was, he just got hired because he's the director's cousin or something like that, and he sucked, you know. Buffalo made pizza. No, but this was just like buffalo wings on the pizza. But yeah, like I definitely would come and eat some buffalo pizza that's made in Buffalo. Do you want? No, I just take the poop out with a squeezy. Woodroof wants to know how old am I? I'm old enough, older than I look. Uh, what should I bring the Zeb tank term? When? I guess if they're not breeding now, I'd say bring it up to 83 and see what happens. Because it's between those two numbers. And also, something I want to mention about this is that all of our measurement devices could be different. Each of them could be calibrated slightly differently, and in turn give various measurements. So I use 2 separate heat guns, and they both pretty much give the same temperature most of the time. But like 80% of the time, I guess they give the exact same temperature or pretty close, and 20% of the time they give different readings. So that's between my 2 guns. Now imagine if my gun compared to your gun at your house, it might be completely different also, right? So each heat gun might have slightly different readings. And so in turn, and this was very apparent when Michael brought his, and he was giving completely different readings from different tanks. And also yesterday, when I tested with my, oh my god, this guy's back. Thanks, Leo. Uh, um, we tested it with the same heat gun. When he tested it, it was different, and when I came around and tested it like 10 minutes later, it was different. So like these are all different readings that we were getting. So it was interesting to watch, to to say the least. But yeah, this is what I just think that each device could give a different reading also. So coming back to the point, essentially, there is some discrepancy you have to give to the measuring device error. So I would say play between 80 and about 83, 84, up and down over a period of 24 to 48 hour periods. Go up to like 84, then come back down to about 81, 80.5 or something like that, and then back up to like 84 or so over like a 3 to 4 day period. Try that when, especially when it's raining or after you've done some, water changes and stuff like that. See the activity level, see if the fish start getting triggered. See what happens. um, Add some oak leaves or catappa leaves. I think that triggers them. My fish definitely seem to like eat that stuff, and that seems to help with, like, I don't know, maybe egg development, maybe some nutrients that they might need for that particular part. High protein food also, that helps. So those are a few things that I think can help in this process. But yeah, that's essentially what I do when I notice like there's a rainfall happening or something. I do a water change the day before or on the day when it's raining, and then I drop the temperature in the whole room, right? It's the whole house essentially, and all my fish breed at that point. So it's not just with zebra flakos, with other fish also this works. Yeah, I know your pH is on the low side, so yeah, the oak leaves are not necessarily just for the pH. It's also food for the fish. It seems to help. For me, I noticed that with the babies, when I have the oak leaves in the tank, in the breeding box, they don't die as much. They have secondary food, and also it seems to help with the tannins and stuff like that. With the adults also, they eat it, and it seems to help, not just with the tannins but also as a food source. So if you can find oak leaves and source them, please do that. I need to find some trees in my area, in the new area, and if I can't find any trees by September, October, I'm going to drive to my old area and I'm going to go to my neighbors' front lawns and I'm going to ask permission and collect all the leaves. They seem to like that because it helps them with also the leaves collection, because they don't need to deal with it, because otherwise they have to pay someone. So here comes me, and can I clean your yard for you for free? Great, go ahead. And I just sort out all the oak leaves, put it into one bag, and sort out all the other leaves and put it into another bag, and done. And I have free oak leaves for the rest of the year. They always come back. I know. So listen, I'm gonna sign off. I'm tired. Um, the gravel worked. I don't feel like needing to use the bathroom for the last few hours, so that's good. Hopefully that stays like that for the rest of the day. I'm gonna take some more gravel right now. I'm gonna eat also, and I will see you guys and girls either during the week or by next weekend. I'm still working full time. This is the last week for this movie, and then I'm back to doing daily work, which still gonna be busy till the rest of the year, hopefully, unless my union kicks me out, which is happening right now. They're trying to, but it seems like my defense is strong enough that they don't have a case against me. So it seems like I might win that battle. I'll keep you guys posted, and if I lose it, I will be out of a job, and I would have to find a new job, and I'll probably have more time for you guys and girls. But don't pray for me to lose my job, okay? Pray for me to keep my job, because then I have enough money to pay for all this stuff and all the upgrades that I need to do, and then in the winter I can take the winter off for the 4 or 5 months, December, January, February, March. I can only work like 2 days a week type of deal, just to pay bills, and take the rest of the week off and have more videos and live streams and all that good jazz. So there is a plan, First and foremost, the tanks need to get set up and stuff, and once everything's up and running, I think I will feel more relaxed to do videos, not just live streams, and so that's all coming. I do have some videos recorded. I need to edit, and I have time at work coming up, with, to do some editing and stuff, so those videos can get done and put out and stuff. Oh yes, I forgot to update. I was supposed to go to Fish Easy's house today, and do a live stream from his house, from his fish room, and also do a tour of his fish room. Didn't happen because I was sick, because I am sick, and I didn't want to be sick at his house. I didn't want to get him sick or having to use the bathroom at his house and stuff like that, which is kind of gross. I like to use the bathroom here. So that is going to come up soon. I will do that live stream for you guys and girls, and in the meantime, subscribe to his channel, Fish Easy, with an E and a letter Z. and stay tuned for updates because he does update weekly also. Thank you so much everyone for staying tuned, and hope you guys and girls have an amazing week next week. And Princess Peach is setting up their rating. Thank you, Goji, and I will see you all during the week or by the weekend. And God bless you all. I love you. I'll see you soon. Okay. Uh, Heather says she'll message me later. Thank you, Leo, and love you all. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Mwah.